Piana used to sell to everyone in San Fernando Valley. Even my dad was buying stuff from him back then.
And he was buying from me. I got this idea that I'll just go down there and start a lab and take over.
Which, by the way, you're not the only person who does things like that. I mean, John Romano also, it's not a completely outlandish idea, you know. So you moved over there and you partnered with a guy called Nordic, who remains mysterious.
Yeah.
But you guys started developing your manufacturing there. And interestingly, you were working on the products yourself physically. But you were able to eventually generate revenue of $100,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last guy got busted. The second you make $100,000 a week, do you go, wait a minute, the last guy got busted. Maybe I should save for 4 weeks and quit? Or is it just never comes into mind because it's coming so smooth? You think it's legal. How does that work?
So when Operation Raw Deal went down, I was the last one to get busted. Literally the last one. I watched everybody get busted before me. I didn't know them personally, but I saw it on the news. This lab got popped. I mean, they were rounding up everybody in the whole world.
Oh, wow.
And so I was watching everybody get busted. And I actually hired Rick Collins. I retained him before I got popped. And when I first contacted him, I said, Rick, I think they're going to come after me. I need to retain you. And he goes, well, there's no charges against you, so you can't retain me. I said, well, how about I'll just give you 10 grand and you just have it just in case, because I have a feeling something's going to happen. So he's like, okay. And I was in Mexico and I'm like, okay, I'm in Mexico and I'm hidden away outside of their jurisdiction. And I just thought that I was safe and I'll just stay there.
Yeah.
But they already knew everything, because Hushmail was a encrypted email, a server out of Canada, and everybody used it.
Like Proton Mail now.
Yeah, but we were all under this delusion that it was safe. So, they went to Hushmail, they subpoenaed the records, and Hushmail gave it all over, and they knew everything.
And for the audience to know, this doesn't just happen if you subpoena. Recently, you guys heard about the FBI doing that app, the Anom app. It's an encrypted messaging service. The FBI actually owned it. So everything that everybody sent on it, they had from the beginning, and they just did a sting on everyone. Anyway, so be very careful, people.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that they can't get your stuff, believe me, they can get your stuff. Yeah, there's nothing.
That's what I tell people. They're like, do you have a Proton Mail account? And I'm like, no, man. I'm like, that's just fucking dumb. If they want to see what you're doing, they'll see what they want.
They can see there's a lot of ways they can see what you're doing. Anything that's electronic, they can look at what's happened with the Bitcoin. Remember there was that ransomware with Bitcoin and the company paid millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and then the government went and got it and got the Bitcoin back from the ransom people.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And that's supposed to be all encrypted and safe, and you can't trace it and touch it. They got it, and they got it.
So was it the DEA then that was looking into you at that point when they got the Hushmail?
The DEA was the one running the investigation for Raw Deal.
Okay.
But like I said, I was outside their jurisdiction. So they legally, and they didn't have anything on me. They never busted me doing a transaction with any products. I was in Mexico the whole time. They didn't catch me selling anything. They just had emails basically, and it was all made up names and stuff, but they knew, because I didn't actually sell to people. I had 5 distributors. Which Rich Piana happened to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
And I only sold to these 5 distributors. The minimum order was $30,000.
Oh.
And then these 5 distributors that were in different places in the world sold to everybody else. So I had a website that people would go on there. It would just show them the products and pictures, and I'd post all the lab results from every batch that we made. Because I had a lab in Utah that every batch we had tested, and I'd post the results.
Oh.
So millions of people would see that. They knew the company, but I wouldn't deal directly with any end user. They'd have to get it through one of those distributors.
Well, that makes sense.
Piana used to sell to everyone in San Fernando Valley. Even my dad was buying stuff from him back then.
And he was buying from me.
Yeah, this really fills up a lot of things in my, because I knew about Piana also, so now we have the connection.
And then he tried to set me up.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I didn't know that. Was he like that?
Oh, hell yeah. He got busted numerous times and he just routed his way.
That's what I was always wondering. How did he never get busted? He's in California, 30 years of dealing. You'd think that they'd catch him at some point.
Yeah, he contacted me one time. He goes, I don't want to do this mail order stuff anymore. This is after we've been doing this for like over a year. He goes, I want to meet in person. I'm like, why? He goes, well, I just rather do it that way. We could meet at a gym somewhere like in Orange County and you could like leave the stuff in a locker and, I'll leave the money or something like this. I'm like, I'm out of the country. I don't go to the US. I'm not doing this. I'm like, no, why? You've always got your product. You send the money and the product arrives in the mail at your house. What do I need to meet you for? Mm. So he was for sure trying to set me up.
That does sound very suspect. Very suspect.
I mean, there was no reason for me to meet him.
Yeah, that's very weird. So they didn't have a direct link. So they'd reach out instead to the Mexican authorities.
They did that with like not only just me, but like there was British Dragon was in Thailand, and they got the Thailand government to go arrest them.
Oh, okay.
And extradited them to the United States to stand charges. Mm. And yeah, they couldn't legally like go get me in Mexico.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't actually broken any law in the United States.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a warrant to go pick me up or anything. They didn't have a case. So they contacted the Mexican authorities and told them to go get me.